still got market. If not market.
What's going on, guys? It's your favorite mortgage lender, Abdel Khawatmi, Got Mortgages, on another episode of the Got Mortgages podcast. And we're about to have on stage with us my good friend Alyssa with Rally Point Title. Alyssa and her team are our preferred title company. We're going to go over not just work, but some of her stuff on her personal side, being married for over 7 years, having the opportunity to find that work-life balance between the two, going from working a corporate job, managing several people, to eventually transitioning into some of the worlds of real estate, mortgages, along with title, and embodying that business development. And from what we're seeing personally, actually put some of those steps into practicing what they preach. Make sure you guys tune in, and this is another episode of the Got Mortgages podcast. What's going on, guys? It's your favorite mortgage lender, Abdel Khawatmi, Got Mortgages, here with my good friend Alyssa with Rally Point Title. Alyssa, how are you?
I'm doing good, Abdel. How are you?
Good. Well, I know you just came back from vacation.
I did.
So super excited to hear about that. You know, while it was raining and crap weather here, you were sending us, pictures with the team.
Yes.
So how was your vacay?
It was great. It's always too short, but it was nice to be able to decompress and put my phone away for, a few days and get some sun.
You were still working. I know you were.
I was still working a little bit.
We tell ourselves that. All right. So talk to me. How's business treating you?
Business is doing good. We're actually picking up. We ran our numbers the other day, and we have for the month of April, we had almost 30 orders over from the year before. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely inventory is obviously ticking up. Rates are starting to go down. So you see a combination of purchase applications up, refinance is obviously up a little bit as well.
Correct.
And all that fun stuff. So for those of you who don't know you, who is Alyssa?
I'm Alyssa. I have a background in marketing for most of my life. Out of high school, I got a job as a receptionist at a marketing company, and I kind of worked my way up from there. Became the manager of the whole office. I was running an office of about 7 sales reps that were selling direct mail advertising. So it really ties into what I'm doing now, a lot of the marketing background that I have. But then I got married and I moved down here, so I had to leave that job. And I got into real estate, and I was doing the marketing for Coldwell Banker Real Estate.
Got it.
And then COVID hit. I got laid off. And then Guaranteed Rate Affinity picked me up, and I was doing the biz dev for them for a couple of years. Then COVID, everything slowed down after COVID. So then I got laid off again, but I had known Emily from processing the title orders at Guaranteed Rate. So she had a job posting up, and I applied, and fast forward 3 years, here I am.
Got it. 3 years. That's time flies.
I know.
So I love that you've kind of had a good side of call it the 3 sides of the business, right? Even 4: real estate, mortgages, title, and then I guess you could say marketing, because business development is obviously such a unique position, but it's so obvious as so many companies need it.
Correct.
Right. And I think you bring that perfect embodiment of you understand what each referral partner needs, right? Real estate agent needs. From events, from online exposure. I know you do a lot with helping out realtors, right? On setting up certain Google business profiles and online stuff and all that. How did you realize that was something that an agent could potentially need to help out in their business?
Well, I just feel like there's so much help being offered to all these realtors. And I felt like one thing that wasn't being offered was help with the basics, getting back to the basics. Forget helping out with, having an awesome closing day. What about everything that comes before that? In order for them to get business, they need to be seen.
Sure.
So that's where my marketing background kind of comes in, and where I say I can put myself in their shoes and say, this is what they need to get exposure online. And that will eventually, hopefully, turn into business for me and you.
Sure. Yeah, it's the law of reciprocity, right?
Exactly.
You get in what you put out, which is such a great way to do business.
Yeah.
So now, obviously marketing at one point, and I didn't know that about you, that you did marketing and you had a huge team and stuff like
I
that.
did.
What were you guys doing with marketing specifically?
So it was Valpak advertising.
Okay.
So it was
Is
those.
that the coupon things?
It was the blue
Oh,
envelopes
interesting.
that you get in the mail.
Yep.
And the agents were responsible for going out to local businesses, banging on doors, and trying to say, hey, get your business advertised in our envelope. Around that time, digital started coming out. So we were doing, they were called business profile pages for each client. And I would have to go in the back end and do the SEO to get their businesses found up higher on Google. I had to get Google AdWords certified, which it took me like 2 tries to pass it. It was not easy.
Hard.
But it was a cool certification to have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when Google started really blowing up. I mean, I'm dating myself here. This was back in, 2009.
Yep.
I got this job out of high school. So that was their job. And actually, I made my own sale while I was working for them. I was on my lunch break and I got a flat tire and I pulled into the nearest, auto shop and I sold the guy advertising. And that's kind of when I knew like maybe I have a little bit of sales in me. And everyone would always tell me, Alyssa, why are you sitting in this office? You need to
Sure.
like be out there. You have a personality that people will gravitate towards. So get out there and sell. And I was so afraid to do that for a while. And now I do that every day and it doesn't feel like work, which is really cool.
Yeah, and it's so important that when you embody something that you love, something that you enjoy, and then you actually pursue it, the cliche saying where it doesn't feel like work, it's honestly
true.
right? I mean, you're putting out fires left and right, dealing with, lender timelines, realtor timelines, CO issues, undisclosed liens, whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. And then it becomes annoying, right? Versus I think when you're in the field, right, every day is different, right, to
100%.
an extent, no matter
Yeah.
how structured you want your
Yeah.
day to be. So let's talk about obviously how you're so you're married,
Yep.
right? Which is awesome. How long have you been married for?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
So probably felt like yesterday.
Yes.
You guys celebrated your 7-year anniversary, not just the other day, I
Yeah.
think it was, right?
Yes.
Well, talk to me about that work-life balance, right? So if there is that mom out there who wants to go and be that successful, entrepreneur and embrace business development and stuff like that, what would you recommend for somebody?
To just do your best to get out there and just try and meet as many people as you can. I think that what really has brought some success for Rally Point is just like awareness that this is, people are allowed to select their title company. It's actually the buyer's ultimate decision who they're going to use. So we've had people, in my personal life that have specifically asked to use us. So I think that really just getting out there and letting everybody know what you are and what you do and who you are. I think that's a great place to start for somebody wanting to do this.
I love that.
You have to hustle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a great embodiment, right? It literally says it on the loan estimate and the closing disclosure that clients have the opportunity to shop for. Right?
Correct.
In Section C, and it's generally the title company
Yeah.
and survey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So getting into marketing, did you go to school for marketing?
I didn't.
Okay.
I got that job out of high school
Got it.
and I was going to school part-time. But I was young and I was a kid and I was making a lot of money. So at that time I felt like I didn't really need to finish school.
Sure.
Um,
Well, now some people are stuck with hundreds of thousands of student loan debt,
and they
they're
have no
not
job.
doing what they're
Yeah.
doing, or they have no job. Sure.
So, I'm doing just fine. And, there's always an opportunity to do it down the line if I
Sure.
decide.
Yeah, and I think it's also the day and age, right, of entrepreneurship is completely taken over.
Yeah.
Rather than, when we were younger, it was a lot different.
Yeah.
Where it was like, no, you had to go to school. You had to become a doctor. You
Yeah.
had to become a lawyer and
Yeah.
all that fun stuff. What are you kind of looking forward to now heading into the spring and summer? What's kind of the things that you have coming up on your Rolodex?
Just really excited to get outside with people and have a good time. I'm excited for our meetings at your house in the summer and the pool. And, I feel like everyone's in a better mood when it's
Sure.
nicer out and we're busier in the spring and summer. So I'm definitely looking forward to having those orders pick up.
Yeah. I mean, listen, spring and summer is always the wild, wild west. Right?
Yeah.
that's when home buyers that we have so many contracts right now that were accepted like a month ago and they're not closing until like June, July.
Yeah,
And
same.
you're like, dude,
Same. So we're just waiting. Yeah.
Totally.
But at least they're there.
They're there, thank God. There's so many headaches right now.
Yeah.
What are you kind of seeing like common, let's call it, because everybody talks about the good, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the fires we're putting out. What are you seeing common hurdles that people are usually going through on transactions?
We've had a lot of cancels recently. I'm not really involved in the back end of stuff, so why they're being canceled, I'm not sure. But I know we recently had someone that had two cancels, and we just got the third. So I'm knock on wood. I'm hoping that this goes through. So it seems like I'm not really sure. People are being extra picky about stuff.
It's a combo. If it's purchases, what I'm seeing is a lot of there's pros and cons to stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes some cold feet buyers,
Yeah.
especially on inspections.
Mm-hmm.
On the refi side, it is so hot and cold
Yeah.
because clients will want to drop their rate and so on and so forth, and then realize, no, I don't want to do this. Or some clients will make you go to Panera, sign your docs.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot, but the good things from a consumer sentiment perspective, like you talked about, COVID was wild, wild west.
Yes.
22, 23, 24 happened to be a little bit of a trying time for some. I know you and I were doing really well. And then post-COVID, obviously now is where, I think consumer sentiment is up.
Mm-hmm.
Mortgage apps are up. Rates are going down. Inflation's slowly going down. Some of the stuff overseas is not helping, but it's slowly going
Mm-hmm.
down, without energy and food and stuff like that. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. Now let's shift focus into obviously how you and I met.
Yeah.
Right. It was through networking.
Yeah.
I know you're a heavy networker. We see each other's time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
We used to see each other's all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll never forget it. I think it was on Facebook. You were like, "Hey, when are we going to start doing business together?" I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
And what did I say?
You got to ask.
Literally. I was like, you got to ask.
Yeah.
And we did. And obviously, you guys were awarded our top referral partner last year. So
Yeah.
thank you for everything you guys do.
Of course.
How did you start embodying, networking, right? I guess to an extent it comes with the territory,
Yeah.
right? With your role. But I also do see a lot of business development managers who don't network either as much or network to a very fine niche. How did you realize that networking is something that you really need to hone in on?
They say like when you are looking for your purpose in life, like it's going to be something that comes naturally to you.
Sure.
And I feel like that's what I found because it comes so naturally to me that I just knew that that was what I had to do in order to get the business. I love talking to people. I love making friends with people. And I feel like that's where our business is coming from. It's from the friendships that I'm making. And, it's not even so much about what's going to happen, during the deal. It's like, well, I trust you. Like, we hang out all the time. You've come to my baby shower. I'm inviting you to my wedding. These have all become friends of mine.
Sure.
And they know that they can count on me. And I feel like when you see somebody enough, that's kind of just what happens. So that's how I knew that really heavy networking is where we really needed to
Sure.
take
It's a
Rally
great-
to the next level.
It's a great point too, because I think after a certain while, you see people in like a million rooms versus you see certain professionals in the same rooms. Right?
Yeah.
And that's something I know you guys always hear me say time and time again is it's not about the number of rooms that you're in. It's about the quality of conversations that you're having in certain
Correct.
rooms. Right. And I know you've obviously identified that, right? Where it's like wasting your time at one place versus spending a little bit more focused time in
Yes.
another, and taking it from there. Anything else that you got going on? Fun, cool stuff that you could share with the audience?
I mean, I'm just really happy to be a part of Elevated Alliance. Thank you so much for all you do for us. And I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, you guys really need to come check it out because Abdel is really just laying all his cards out and helping everybody grow their business. And I'm just really excited to be here with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so So we started the mastermind really, it first started off right in our office in Eatontown.
Yeah.
It's probably like 7, 8 of us. And then it grew to where we had to move furniture. and then we had to, again, grew to New York Life.
Yeah.
And then now my office where we're still moving furniture in the new one. To that point too, where I love, and I think you were a big part of it too, where shifting the style where we did recently. I think you might have missed the last one because you were on
I was on
vacay.
Zoom.
Or you were on Zoom.
Yeah.
Having that workshop style.
Yeah, I'm
right?
excited for today.
And I know that you run your business like that too, when you're also sharing strategies and stuff like that with partners.
Correct.
Right? Where you're not just preaching to the masses, right?
Yeah.
You're actually like, hey, take out your laptop and do it. Talk
Yes.
to us about that, because I think it's important for a referral partner to know that.
Yeah. And like I do take a lot of the stuff that I learned from you and implement that into my relationships with these people when I go to meet with them. Especially like social stuff. You have to be visible. You have to take selfie videos and put yourself out there, or nobody's going to know who you are.
Sure.
And no one's going to hire someone to list their house or help them buy a house if they don't know who you are. So I'm definitely taking a lot of the stuff that I've learned from you and kind of taking that and recycling it, to help our partners, and hopefully letting them know that you're doing this and the business will come to
Sure.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a lot of like being visible and being found online, how to get found online, how to get found on AI. It's the only way to go now.
It is, and the business is shifting, and I know you guys are huge on branding, right?
Yeah.
You actually will host, from what I've seen differently from several other title companies, is you'll host consistent partner appreciation events and stuff like that. How did you guys find out that was something that was like really enticing? Because you haven't done it once. You guys have done it several times in different locations. When did you start seeing this is really cool too?
Well, I just feel like life gets so busy, and, we want to thank the people that are trusting us. And sometimes a thanks and a hug doesn't do it. You want to see them in person and spoil them a little bit.
Sure.
So we do our best to give everyone a couple drinks and a couple laughs and good company to decompress from life, and hopefully not even talk about real estate for a few hours.
If we can.
If
yeah.
we can do that, which doesn't really work out
No.
like that. But yeah, people seem to appreciate it and they come, and yeah, we'll be doing another one soon. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to just the title services, you guys also have a division of 1031 exchanges, right?
yes.
I don't know if that falls in your wheelhouse or not.
Yeah.
But talk a little bit about that for those of us who are looking to hear.
Yeah. So this is for investors basically. It's a great way to defer your capital gains taxes. So you sell your house, the taxes are deferred, and then when you purchase your second property, you're kind of saving money for a little bit in that way. So this is nationwide. It has to be a like-kind property. So it can't be like a business and then a house. It has to be, your primary residence being 1031 with another primary residence.
And it's such a great model that I know you, Emily, and the team, people want convenience, right?
Yes.
And to have to sit there and have the settlement company who's handling your sale also be the one that can simultaneously handle your 1031 in collaboration with your attorney,
Yeah.
or however it's structured, just makes the path of least resistance that much easier.
Yeah.
Right?
And it helps us because like we recently just closed on a sale for someone that was doing a 1031, and now we're getting the title on his purchase.
Exactly.
So we did a good job. They trusted us. We kept their money nice and safe. Now we're going to get the title on that. So from one contact that I made networking, we got an order for a 1031 and two title orders in. Yeah.
Well, kudos to you, and
Thank
obviously
you.
embodying that and staying consistent with
Yeah.
it. Wrapping up, anything that you want the audience to remember or think of?
Yeah. We're here. I'm available 24/7. I'm
Literally.
the girl next door. You can always call me if you have any questions or need any advice. If I don't have the answer, my boss has the answer. She's been doing this for a long time. Not too long, but long enough where we will have the answers for you if anyone has any questions.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, you guys heard it best. Alyssa with Rally Point Title, they are our preferred title company, which says a lot based on the amount of volume and just relationships that we have built in over the years. So appreciate you coming on, and make sure you guys tune in. And this is another episode of the Got Mortgages podcast. Talk to you guys soon.